All right, let's dive into something that honestly makes the web a much better place for all of us. HTML, form attributes, and validation. We're going to see how just a few simple pieces of code can make online forms way smarter, a lot safer, and so much less frustrating to use. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a problem that I am positive every single one of us has dealt with. You're trying to sign up for something new, maybe buy a gift online, and you just hit a wall. You know the one I'm talking about, that super annoying form error?
I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You filled everything in, you click that submit button, and bam. Suddenly there's red text popping up everywhere, telling you something's missing or incomplete. It's just this universal moment of online frustration. But here's the good news. There's actually a hero built right into HTML that's designed to stop this from ever happening. So it's time to meet that hero. It's called form validation. And it is the secret ingredient, the magic sauce that makes sure a form works perfectly from the get-go. So what is it really? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Validation is just the process of checking the info you put into a form before it gets sent off to the website's server. And here we see it in action. You can think of it like a helpful little assistant that just double-checks your work, catching any little mistakes before they turn into a big headache. This one simple automatic check is what stops those frustrating errors dead in their tracks. But why does this matter so much? Well, validation plays an absolutely critical role. I want you to think of it as a gatekeeper for data, protecting the website itself. This gatekeeper is basically standing guard, and its job is to block any bad, incomplete, or just plain wrong data from ever getting to the website's database. It only lets the good, clean data through, which is absolutely essential for a smooth experience for you and for the website's security and just keeping its data clean. So how do we tell this gatekeeper what the rules are? Well, in HTML, we use something called attributes. These are basically the specific commands we add to our form fields to tell them exactly how to behave and what rules they need to enforce. All right, let's take a quick tour of the most common and powerful tools in our HTML attribute toolkit. Think of this as a lightning round of the greatest hits. First up, we've got the required attribute. This is your number one defense against those annoying empty submissions. You just add it to a field and the form simply will not submit until that field is filled out. It's so simple but incredibly effective. Next is the placeholder attribute. This one is all about guiding the user. It puts that light gray example text inside a field, showing people exactly what kind of information you're looking for, like your name at example.com. Now, similar but a little different is the value attribute. This one actually pre-fills a field with default data. It's awesome for things like setting a default quantity to 1 in shopping cart or suggesting a common answer. Next up, a classic pair, disabled and read-only. Now, here's the key difference you gotta remember. It's all about what happens when you submit the form. A disabled field is totally grayed out and its data is not sent. A read-only field also can't be changed, but its value is sent along with the rest of the form. What if you need to control how long an answer is? Well, that's where min length and max length come in. These are perfect for setting rules on things like usernames that can't be too short, or maybe passwords that have to be a certain length for security. And for numbers, we have min and max. These attributes let you set a valid range, which stops people from doing silly things like entering an age of 200 or trying to order a negative number of items. It just keeps the data sensible. And finally, we have the powerhouse, the pattern attribute. This uses something called a regular expression, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a special code for describing a search pattern. Think of it like a super specific instruction manual for what a valid entry should look like, whether that's a postal code, a phone number, or a specific ID format. If it doesn't match the pattern, it's blocked. Simple as that. So after we use all these incredible tools from our toolkit, what do we get? What's the end result? Let's see how this whole thing comes together. The payoff is a form that just works. It looks clean, it's professional, and it's super user-friendly. It builds trust by stopping errors before they happen and makes sure that by the time someone hits submit, the data is perfect. It's a win-win, a better experience for the user and way better data for the business. So if you remember anything, remember this. HTML attributes give us the tools to set the rules. Validation is the process that checks the user's input against those rules. And when you put them together, you create this awesome system that guarantees you get safe, clean, and correct data every single time. And that's our look at form validation.
By understanding these simple but really powerful ideas, you now have the keys to build better, smarter, and way more reliable forms. So the only real question left is, what are you going to create?
Thanks so much for joining this explainer. In our next one, we're going to be exploring the world of semantic HTML5 tags to make web pages even more meaningful and powerful. I'll see you then.